Hello viewers, welcome to this edition of the TFN Lunch Time News. And I am your presenter for today, Alimatu S. Bajinka. In today's edition, President Adama Barrow launches Urban Transport Initiative and commission 38 buses. Residents along the Batten-Haden Highway speak to the FATO network on challenges posed by roaming livestock. Over the weekend, 400 students graduated from the Indian Technology in a range of ICT specialities. As the forthcoming Gambia Football Federation election gains momentum, Sana Yafa has said incumbent President Lamin Kabab Bajo is being backed by criminals. And also, in the studio, we have Dudu Jallo, who is the Director of Scientific Affairs at Food Safety and Quality Authority. He will be taking us through their recent laboratory tests on some smoked fish samples following widespread rumor of fishmongers using the sniper insecticides in preserving their fish. We will also have as a guest NPP's Ahmed Jite, who is inspiring to become chairman of Birkama Area Council. All of these and more coming up shortly after the break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. As usual, let's begin with stories making headlines on today's newspaper. Now, let's take some news items. President Adama Barrow earlier today launched the Urban Transport Initiative and commissioned 38 buses. Here is an excerpt of the event.
Today marks another milestone in the history of vehicular transportation in the country. As we launch the Urban Transport Initiative, for which we are here to inaugurate 38 brand new buses. 33 of the buses are exclusively for urban transport services, while the remaining 5 are operational support to the Urban Transport Initiative project. This development cannot come at a better time, considering the recent significant improvements on our road infrastructure network and the growing traffic congestion in the greater Banjul area. Despite the government's achievements in this sector, the need to complement road infrastructure development with proper road transport operations is obvious.
This is how countries are built. We have to believe in ourselves. First, let's support each other, and the returns will stay here in the Gambia. And that's what you see today. The Q group believes in the Sunubot concept, and we believe in country first. We want to assure GTSC that we are not only suppliers, but we will be their partners to support them in executing their mandate to solving the transport problem in this country. With oil prices skyrocketing every day, which we have no control on, the only solution we have is to provide cheap and affordable transport fares to the general public.
Today,
Residents along the Batten-Haden Highway speaks to the FATO network on challenges posed by roaming livestock. They say the roaming livestock destroy their plantation and also cause accidents. More in this report.
On 15 December 2020, the Gambia Police Force, in collaboration with the Cattle Farmers Association, declared an operation to ensure that no stray animals are found roaming in the streets within the Greater Banjul area. Recently, people have been complaining about the challenges posed by uncontrolled livestock animals roaming in the streets. Speaking to the FATO network, Sheikh Nyang said he has been a victim of the damage caused by uncontrolled livestock and therefore called on livestock owners to restrain their animals from causing more damage to plantation and other properties.
Nagi normal match yon seni borom dañ leen war di téye ndax soo seetloo ITC bi ci boppam ñoom ñoo war a téye nag yi ndax nag yi toujours de temps dañuy jóge ko ci biir ITC bi di jàll ci kaw tali bi te loolu méegul sens ndax soo seetloo toujours yenn da ngay gis nag buy jàll oto fekk oto bi egsi na bu bréegee am na benn oto bu topp ci kaw oto boobu jiyee mun na am foofu ndax ki ci gannaaw mën naa tampon ki ci kanam wala su fekkee ne nag bi rëcc na xëy na ñaari oto yi mën nañoo mbëkkante te loolu yëpp li ko waral mooy ñàkk a téye nag yi nag ak biir nit mënuñoo ànd nag ci àll lañ ko xamee nañu waxante dëgg highway bi pour oto la du pour nag ndax fi mu nekk ni nag yi ci boppam dañ day ñëw fii toujours duñu di stop te mënuñ ci dara te nag boo ci laal bu gaa yi génnee mën nañ laa indil problème te anytime toujours de temps ñun ñu ngi koy wax mënuñ ci dara fii ba tontable ay nag la ay xar la ay béy la te toujours dañuy jàll tali bi te loolu seefut.
On road accident, Soja gave an account of an accident he witnessed, which he said was caused by roaming livestock.
oto bi dafa freiné may pour que mu jàll kooku yaakaar ne moom mu ngi may nag yi mu yaakaar ne borom moto van bi mu foog ne borom oto mu ndaw bi da koo may mu jàdd ndekete moom saa yi mayu ko nag yi la may pour ñu jàll moom muñ ko laajee sax loola moom dafa yaakaar ne saa yi da koo may kooku ne ko man mayuma la nag yi laa may moom ndax bu ma gisee nag yi di traversé dama taxaw ma isobe ku nekk sama ginnaaw isobe yow nga ñëw nga jàdd accident bi doon xapp ne nag yi moom accident yi ñu ciy fekk cross moom loolu dafa ba bari sax sakoon dama erreur lu tàmbalee Johnson Kër Serigne ba Johnson bii nii Laas Johnson bii mujj nag yi moom luñ fi problème bu ñuy créer fii dafa ba bari sax.
Samba Ba, a driver, urged colleague drivers to always be careful on the road because the roaming animals mostly cross the road unnoticed.
Correct bëgguñu ko waaye naka lañ def so deneen dëkkaay gars yi nii because nooy def ñoom tamit si biir mbooloo bi lañ dëkka waaw yàlla ñu contrôle leen ci kaw tali bi loolu mooy jàmm bi waaw loolu rek mooy jàmm ñun tali bi daal bëgguñ am problème jàmm rek leen bëgg si tali bi waaw nag ci kaw tali bi nag boobu kay macha allah dafa bàyyi xelam mu mun a am jàmmam loolu laa fa gis.
Residents call on authorities and livestock owners to restrain livestock animals to prevent further harm on their plantations and other properties. Reporting for the Fatu Network, Hadi Sise.
Over the weekend, 400 students graduated from the Indian Institute of Hardware Technology in a range of ICT specialities. Our reporter Janke Ture was there and she files in this report.
The Indian Institute of Hardware Technology, IIHT, in partnership with the Youth Empowerment Project YEP on Saturday, 16 June 2022, graduated 200 students in various sectors of ICT, including Diploma in Introduction to Information Technology, Diploma in Server Administration, Diploma in Technical Support, Advanced Diploma in Graphic Design, Diploma in Network Security, Diploma in Digital Marketing, and Diploma in Information Technology, of which 20 have distinction. 200 students have merit and 80 students got credit, with aims to invest in education, the scientists and technology to transform the attitudinal behavior of people and also encourage the development of capacity. The event was represented by dignitaries including the Honorable Minister of Education, Minister of Communication and Digital Economic, Minister of Higher Education, Minister of Energy and Petroleum, Honorable Sala and Kande, and Project Manager of YEP. Honorable Minister of Higher Education and Research, Science and Technology applauded the IIHT for graduating 400 students and offered his support in promoting TVEC education at its use, arguing that TVEC education is a key role in development as the world is advancing and urged stakeholders in the education sector to introduce mindset of education for proper mindset to change and develop the Gambia in building TVEC education.
57 years of independence. We are still where we are. If it had worked, we would have developed by now. Therefore, there's need for a paradigm shift. And from this platform, I call on all Gambians, all stakeholders, for us to champion and promote TVET. That TVET education is not a second option. It is the best option. All developed countries use TVET, and we need to promote that. And earlier on, we saw the demos from the students, more very practical, looking at identifying challenges and coming up with a response. Because education must respond to the challenges of society. And that's what they've done using technology. And that's the only roadmap, the only sustainable roadmap for the development of this country.
Pastor Falk advises students to develop opportunities and make time for the future.
We've been effective. What the Honorable Minister for Higher Education, Research, Technology, and everyone on this high table desires, and your parents, your sponsors, your guardians, your instructors, yourself, your siblings, what we all desire is progress, is self-actualization. Part of life's dividers, they are called time and chance. Time and chance. And that chance is interpreted as opportunity. Are you able to take opportunity? Are you able to seize time now? Opportunity came, but time had left them behind. Sometimes time comes and there is no opportunity. An opportunity is like a man who has plenty hair in front and he tells you, take some of my hair. And you say, don't worry, when you go. And when he moves past you, he is as bald as I am. And he has no hair behind him. Opportunity has gone.
Former CEO and founder of IIHT, now Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Convey, aims for presenting IIHT after observing the role of pathway of the youth of the country in the life cycle of their nation. He said, for a nation to succeed and develop, it depends on the muscle of the youth and population, adding that the youths are made to believe that success is in the Europe.
In order to succeed, we must depend on our rich and successful relatives for financial support. Every way, the belief there can only be few and much rewarding job in the Gambia.
Other dignitaries and students share their gratitude for the step taken to enroll youth to have access to further their education, exposing them to acquire knowledge and skill to discourage youth from embarking on irregular migration, and promoting and increasing job opportunities and income prospects for youths. IIHT Gambia was launched in 2018 by Usman Ba, Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, with a wealth of academic training and experience with major international companies and institutes based in the United States of America. Reporting for the Fatu Network, Janke Toure.
In the build-up to the Gambia Football Federation election, Coach Sana Yafa has told this medium that incumbent GFF President Lamin Kababajo is being backed by criminals. Here is an insight.
You think Ibu Faye Bakari Jamanodas are criminals?
I'm not going to say Ibu Faye and Bakari, but I think he's been backed by criminals.
Yeah, but
so I'm going to generalize it.
But Ibu Faye and Bakari have been Kabas lieutenants.
It's not only, the backing is not only Bakari and Ibu Faye.
We have Lamin Jassi as the Secretary General.
Yeah, a whole lot of them. Even there are some top officials that are backing them with their criminalities.
Even the cleaners.
Even the people at the Sports Council, those are the people giving them powers. So that's the reason why I said at the beginning of this show, this is the only election that the stakeholders had an opportunity to decide freely what they wanted to do, because the government they are not having it with government at the moment.
Okay.
Government wouldn't allow any of the Sports Council guys to get involved on this. Now,
no, maybe it's possible. Like
this is strictly
getting involved.
This is strictly stakeholders versus stakeholders. So let's just play the game, and all I would urge is play the game fairly, cleanly. Okay. Because all they do is try to bully people, try to allege people badly, say bad things about people. But I hope they don't do that with Kamaso. Because this is one person who knows them. Okay. They were all in the same camp. And I hope they will, play this game cleanly so that everybody can have peace. But and Kaba, I cannot just trust him for so many reasons.
Away from that, You may recall that recently there were a viral rumor of fishmongers using the sniper insecticides to preserve their fish. Well, the Food Safety and Quality Authority recently conducted a laboratory test on the same sample of smoked fish. The test confirmed that there is indeed insecticides is being used in the preservation process. The sniper insecticide is reported to be dangerous and sometimes fatal to one's health. To talk on this, we have in the studio Baidudu Jallo, Director of Scientific Affairs at the Food Safety and Quality Assurance. Mr. Jallo, you're welcome to the TFN Long Time Show.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
It's an honor.
Yeah.
Well, first, start by taking us through your institution's recent laboratory tests on some smoked fish samples and rumors that have been making rounds on social media lately.
Yeah, actually, after the news really broke out through social media, what FSQA as an authority did was actually to bring the stakeholders together, because there are two main products. You have the fish, which is a food, but you also have insecticide, which is being alleged to be used on the food. And the insecticide, there are certain institutions, if you look at both the fish and the insecticide, who are key stakeholders. They have a key stake on these products. So we decided to bring together these stakeholders, namely NEA, who are responsible for pesticide registration and pesticide management in the country. But we were also able to bring the Ministry of Fisheries, who are also responsible for fish, but of course FSQA responsible for food safety, which includes fish as a food. And then we also brought some other institutions like the Ministry of Health and also NANA and so on. So what we did was we collected samples because we wanted to really verify this information before we start taking serious actions. In as much as we cannot wait until we verify, we are taking some action, but really to take very strategic actions, we needed to verify. And the verification took two dimensions. The first dimension was to go to the landing sites, try to really talk to these fish processors, and also go to the market and try to talk to these retailers and find out if they are really using the product. And then the other level of verification, which probably is the most important one, was the scientific aspect of it, which was to collect samples and conduct a scientific test, a laboratory test, and that will now bring out results that will tell us whether the product is in the insecticide product is in the fish or not. So this is what we did actually, and after the testing, the results came out that in some of the samples, not all of the samples, but in some of the samples, the insecticide happened to be present in this fish product. And then there was one sample that we took from Backwater Market. It happened to show a high level of concentration of the insecticide product. So this is the results that we had, and last year we had to organize a press release in order to relay this result to the public and also to those who are involved in the processing of and preservation and selling of fish in the country.
Great. Which enforcement actions have you taken?
Actually, what we have done was not to rush into enforcement actions, because first of all, we were ascertaining, we were verifying the presence of this product in the fish. So actually, even the moment the news broke, we started to take action to try to stop the practice. Even though we were testing and verifying, we tried to stop the practice so that you will reduce, if you stop the practice, then you will help protect people, at least at that instant. Now, what we did was to really go and conduct serious, make sure we are monitoring the people who were producing this smoked fish during this period. There was close monitoring of what they were doing, making sure that nobody is using any of the chemicals. Meanwhile, we were awaiting the results. So really, when we got the information, what the stakeholder group have really come up with is we are now going to relay this information to the public, and of course, more specifically to those who are producing smoked fish and preserving it and selling it. And then as we talk now, there is serious monitoring, including even today, teams have been dispatched and they have been going to the landing sites. They have been inspecting, but at the same time, they have been gathering all these people and talking to them directly about the risk and implications. So we have not per se going to the level of arresting and so on. But from now on, since the information is verified and it has come out, we are warning all these people very seriously, because anybody that we catch will be prosecuted accordingly.
Will be prosecuted accordingly.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Jallo, there are concerns that the Food Safety Authority is not doing much to ensure the safety of people. What do you have to say about that? Is your agency up to the task in ensuring that Gambian populace consume only safe food?
Actually, we are faced with challenges like most other institutions. It is true that the food safety issues in this country are huge, and they are posing a lot of challenge to the authority. But what I can tell people that the authority, since its establishment, have been doing a lot of work, and the issue of food safety is an ongoing process. It's not something that you hold on and you maintain throughout. It's something that you are fighting with, you are developing, you are progressing. What we do have our inspection teams that are going to markets and supermarkets and inspecting and protecting people. We have so many. We have now covered the entire country with respect to presence of inspectors and doing inspections. Every day we are removing a lot of bad food from our markets and from many places where we found them. Almost every day we are confiscating and removing. So I'm sure there are still concerns, and we do accept that there are still challenges we are facing, but a lot of work is also being done by the authority. Yeah.
All right. What is your institution's advice for people with regard to safety in consuming fish products?
Yeah, thank you. That's a very good question. I think the advice is what we can tell the public is that we should all be watching out. Food safety is everybody's business. No matter how efficient the authority works, the authority is not possible to be present everywhere at all times. This is because food happen to be everywhere and food happen to be sold at all times. But it's not possible for the authority to be everywhere. So there will be a lot of places where the authority will not be, but the public will be there. So my message would be really, let the public be watching out. Let us all be watching out, because what happens at the end of the day affect all of us. So some of these things, before we even pick them as an authority, they have already started affecting people. So let people also help us in the regulation of food safety. If they suspect anything, we have a toll-free number. If you use any of the networks, you can get us, and it's free. It's 1299. Let them call us and give us information. For those who are selling food, the word again goes out. The responsibility to put safe food on the market is on the producers and the processors and those who are selling it. The responsibility is on them to make sure the food that they put on the market is very safe. What I can tell them is that let them make sure that they are always putting very safe food on the market. One important thing is chemicals, because right now the issue is the use of chemicals in preserving food and so on. But let them, just want to warn all of them that chemicals is absolutely no-go area for food. There is nowhere in this world where people are using chemicals to preserve food. Anywhere it is done, it is completely wrong and unacceptable. And if anybody is caught really doing it, will be prosecuted, because we are here and we have been given power and mandate to prosecute. And we will really, anybody we catch doing this will be prosecuted. So I would urge all of them to follow good practice. Even where you have a problem with your food, we are available. Call us 1299, we will respond. If the food is bad, we will help you disposing it off and removing it from the market. If there is something to be done with the food, we will work with you to make sure you preserve your food very well and place it on the market and it becomes a safe product.
Mr. Yala, you've been saying prosecuted. Hopefully that is not scary enough. Is there a jail term or a fine attached to it?
There is. We have regulations. We have powers when it is very serious to prosecute people. And in that case, we would establish the violation of the law, and the prosecution aspect is normally handled by the police. We will hand over the matter to the police, and the police will prosecute, take you to court, and then the court will make a judgment, and any judgment that the court makes will be implemented. So some people have been prosecuted. The other things we do, we make so before we even make prosecution and so on, is to close you, remove all your products from the market. These are all enforcement actions we do. But with issues of using chemicals on food because of the far-reaching consequences, definitely prosecution is the only option that we will straight away go for.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jallo. It's been great talking to you.
Thank you very much.
We also have the NPP's Ahmed Jite, who is aspiring to become chairman of Brikama Area Council. He explains more to our reporter, Modo Lamin Drame.
Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of the lunch time on TFN. And our guest this afternoon is no other person but Ahmed Jite. Ahmed is a prominent name in Gambian politics nowadays, and also a prominent member at the NPP, National People's Party. So this afternoon we will discuss a variety of issues about the National People's Party, what happened in December, what happened in April, and of course why Ahmed wants to be the biggest elected politician in West Coast region. Ahmed, good afternoon and welcome to Fatu Network.
Emil, you're very right, but let me start by saying hello to all your viewers, and I'm thankful to be here again because I've always come to this place, this second home. So yeah. Thank you for having me.
Here is literally your home. Now, but Ahmed, let's begin at the beginning. Let's talk about the formation or the establishment of National People's Party. What was your role in the establishment of the party?
Well, I think a very good one. You are aware of the political history prior to NPP's coming into existence. We have membership of a different party, UDP, a parent party. And stuff happened as it will happen anywhere else in the world. People would agree and disagree. Sometimes the disagreements are not solvable and they go their separate ways. And we came together as like-minded people with similar ideologies and wishes and objectives and aspirations for the country. And we formed NPP. And I believe, yes, I played a role. I'm a founding member of the party.
Okay. So what was the role that you played? Because I can remember there was a time I was listening to you on the radio. By then, that was before the establishment of the NPP. You said we are going to establish a party and hand it over to Barrow to lead us in the election. So tell us your role in the formation or the establishment of NPP.
So like you rightly said, you know, we were in UDP, stuff happened, and split occurred. Okay. But when split happened, Barrow was already a president. Yes. And our interest was in getting a second term for him. Okay. And, you know, the most likely, you know, way that he was going to be able to get re-election is to stand on a party ticket. But we believe we can only do that when we form our own party. And of course, I mean, you know, fans clubs were, you know, organized and established by people. But we were there to tell people, look, I mean, we think, of course, there is a split, but supporting Barrow for us is the solution. Okay. And so I have played a lot of role in you know, advocating for people to support him. Okay. And I've also done a lot of engagements, both in the media and off camera, to talk to people, to get them support and come to Barrow and telling them, you know, we're going to have a new party and we want everybody on board. So I have, I mean, you know, for most part, concentrated on getting people to be on our side and join, and a lot of people, I think, joined, especially the youth. So in that regard, I played a role.
And you are a founding member of the National People's Party.
National People's Party, yes.
And you succeeded in helping Barrow to be re-elected in December.
Yes, very successful.
Yes. Tell us the role that you play.
Well, again, I mean, these are roles that are very clear. I mean,
now let's talk about roles that were not on the surface. You have been going to media houses talking about NPP. Now let's forget about your appearance on media platforms. Let's talk about behind the scene. What have you been doing for NPP?
Well, I mean, a lot. So first and foremost, I'm sure people are aware that I do not live in this country, but cumulatively, 2021, I have spent 9 months of my time in Gambia for 2021. I was here, well, December, January, you will count that. And February of 2021 I left. I came on May 1st. I was here up to end of June. I left. September 1st I came. I left end of January 2022. So I of course left my family, my job and everything to come and first launch the party, make sure we mobilize and get people come to a successful launching. We did that in January, very successful. During registration, I came back in May. That was when voter registration happened. I came, I traveled extensively to places to help people with transportation, to talk to people and sensitize them to go and get registered. And I believe that was very successful. End of June, I left. September, I came. Campaign started proper in November. I was here in September and I was in the bush. I was there. Behind this scene, for most parties, you know, going to prominent people. I've visited a lot of youth groups. I've visited a lot of women groups. I've visited a lot of elderly people, influential people in society to talk to them. And of course, I've also communicated a lot of what I've observed to the leader of the party, Barrow, and Ibrahim Silla, because he was the desk officer for West Coast. And it was like everybody must perform in their region. That was the strategy we did. I was working directly under Ibrahim Silla as the head of West Coast. So we sat down on several occasions to strategize. I traveled with Silla to a lot of prominent communities in Combo because we're all from Combo. We went to prominent people, places that are very difficult. Some prominent people from UDP especially, we went to them and we were able to change them. And sometimes we go to places and we found things that can only be solved through the intervention of President Adama Barrow. We communicated to him. I would communicate that to him personally.
And he will solve those
problems? I mean, most often, yes. He would. Sometimes he wouldn't agree, and that's normal. But most of the time, 95% he agreed. So I played a lot of those roles. If I see communities, things are not, I go to Ibrahim Silla, speak to him about those things. Sometimes Ibrahim would communicate it to the president, but sometimes he will assign me, go see him, because, of course, seeing the president at the time was as easy for me as it was for Ibrahim Silla. I don't need an appointment with presidency. Alhamdulillah. So I go tell him what I think is okay and what I think he should do. And a lot of times he does them. So I did a lot of those things.
So your relationship with the president was as smooth as that? You seen him anytime you want to see him?
And anytime he's free, because you have to underline that he's a president of the country. And you know, of course, I try as much as I can to get to him when he's
after work,
very busy. Not necessarily after work, but you know, when he's available.
Okay, the result of those behind the scene work is on the surface. Adam Barrow was able to be re-elected as the president of the Republic of the Gambia.
Yes.
But when you look at the election, the December election, and you compare it to the April parliamentary election, in Combo, what has changed?
A lot changed. I think, to be very brief, you know, this is humanity. Sometimes when you get, you know, something so big, you know, you try to relax. First, we made a mistake because we felt, you know, our biggest opponent, UDP, was dead. What we did to them,
so you felt UDP was
they were demoralized. I mean, well, with that kind of victory, nobody was expecting we were going to get that victory. Personally, I had an idea because I was on the ground. I was with the people, and I listened. And I'm not stupid. I'm educated, and I read in between the lines. And this was, I mean, alhamdulillah, very, very cool. When we won, I think we should have continued with with the momentum that we built during the presidential campaign. But a lot of time we relaxed, and of course a lot of other things, perhaps, you know, candidates that were picked by regional stakeholders or regional leaders were not necessarily candidates that people at grassroots level were interested in. So wrong candidate selection.
Okay.
And many other factors also.
You felt that UDP was dead?
Yeah, I have a feeling they were on the verge of dying. And after parliamentary, it would have been finished. We'll bury them.
Then that was the first mistake. Then the second one, selection of what? Wrong
selection
candidates.
of wrong candidates. Yeah, and you know, during the campaign too, a lot of factors, but I'm telling you key ones.
Okay.
You know, Combo, Banjul to West Coast, these are places that are, they are metropolitan. These are, you know, urban areas. Politically, they are not always loyal to a single party. You would expect, you know, provinces usually they are very much, you know, that they have that, you know, loyalty to incumbent, mostly, not only in the Gambia, mostly outside. So, you know, the mistake I think the party did as well was that the president, who was the face of the party, you know, had to be taken to the provinces to go and campaign. If I were a strategist for NPP, why would I send President Barrow to go and spend 4 or 5 days in Basse?
But you said you thought UDP was on the verge of dying.
Yeah, but that
so maybe he had the same thing in mind.
Yeah, but you know, again, that notwithstanding, if you will have to go, UDP was already dead in Basse, and even parliamentary proved that. So there was not a single, you know, seat UDP got.
So it was not necessary for Barrow to go.
No, it was not at all.
But as a founding member of NPP,
yes,
what have you done on that?
I mean, well, I complained.
Okay.
I complained to some party officials, and I also went to Facebook to complain, and I'm sure I am on record to you know, to this effect. That the president was not supposed to be taken to Basse. Whether he goes or not, naturally, that's home, and this is provinces. And depending on the, you know, looking at the developments that he brought there, I would just send few of my ministers to Basse. CRR, Maimuna, the National Women Mobilizer has a strong grip of that place. And of course, President Barrow is present in these places too. Here is where the battle is. If you will send the president to go and help, you know, teams to campaign, they should have brought him to West Coast and KM. That's where I believe he should have spent most of the. But he has not even come to any of these places.
But you
not
said,
even a day.
But you said in 2021 you've been seeing Barrow like Ibrahim Asilda. But why didn't you?
I was away. I was in India. I went back to Canada.
So you don't speak to Barrow on phone?
Why? Well, I mean, no. I didn't speak to Barrow on phone.
So when you complained, what was the outcome of your complaint?
I don't know, because I mean, probably people feel comfortable, like I was telling you. I was not comfortable with some of the candidates that were picked, and the rest is history. I mean, you know, things went so bad for us.
So let's talk about Brikama South. That's where you live, right?
Yeah.
And you publicly supported a candidate who was not selected by NPP.
Yeah.
So as a founding member of NPP, don't you think that was a betrayal?
No. Actually, I stood by the party. The laws of the party, when we won the elections, I was privileged to attend, I think, 2 executive meetings, national executive meetings, where the president was, the vice president, the then vice president, almost all the big party officials that are in cabinet and all of that. We had a discussion, and a template was produced by the party that we choose people based on this criteria. One of them, you have to also look at the laws of the country. Gambian law says people that you have to send to parliament must be proficient in English. They should be able to write, they should be able to communicate, they should be able to debate in those languages.
So are you telling me the candidate who was selected does not have these qualities?
I mean, not necessarily. They are very far away from that. And I still believe in that. And of course, you are a journalist. Records are all over to see. And I believe that's not okay. And the other thing is, these are people that people don't like and people complain.
How do you know?
How would I not know? I'm a party member and I'm also from my region.
Now so tell us, how do you know?
And that is what I'm telling you. People complain. And I listen to people.
But don't you think your role in supporting the other candidate affected NPP in Brikama South?
Well, I mean, it's a factor among many factors that contributed to.
Would you blame yourself for that?
Why would I blame? I stood by the party because party says get people that are electable. That is what the party says. Yes. My party, my NPP agreed that people that are in charge of selection should pick people that people like. These are people that people don't want. And you bring them. You are the one that betrayed the party because that's not what the party... I said I am going to go by what the party says. And that is pick people that people will want. And I went for somebody that is educated, and that is what the party wants. I went for somebody that is a member of the party. That is what the party wants. I went for somebody that people love and is electable. This is what the party says.
And the person wasn't elected as well?
Well, I mean, yeah, because there was a division. And of course, there's another factor. I only came to Gambia to campaign a day before the election. That was when I arrived here. I was on the ground.
But you were doing campaign on Facebook?
Of course, that's not always enough. How many people are on Facebook that do that vote? You have perhaps 0.5% of Brikama South's population that even listen to what happened, that even have Facebook account.
So now let's ascertain this. As a founding member of NPP, are you telling me that you don't have influence at NPP in terms of selection of candidates?
No, I do not.
Why?
Selection according to the party is done by people that have roles and responsibilities in the party.
Okay.
I am not a national executive member of NPP.
Okay.
I am not a regional executive member. I am not a constituency executive member. I'm not a ward executive. I'm not even a village executive member. So it's not my role. So I don't.
Now you said after the December election, you had the feeling that UDP was on the verge of dying. And after the parliamentary election in April, UDP of course dominated. Came back. Let's say they dominated Combo. Now, are we going to say the same thing? Are we going to say now NPP is on the verge of dying in Combo?
Well, no. NPP is not dying in Combo, but it to a larger extent depends on how we handle the forthcoming local government elections. So it's not necessarily that UDP equally came, they won. When you look at the statistics, the numbers, UDP went into parliament in 2016 with about 31 to 32 seats.
Yes.
So this year they came with, I think, 16 or 17.
But people were expecting NPP to dominate the parliament.
They were, of course, expecting, and we dominated it individually. We are the individual majority in parliament still. No party has more number than us.
But you live in West Coast, and you want to be the most powerful elected politician in West Coast. Because when you are elected, you are going to serve the whole West Coast.
I want to be chairman of West Coast. Let's say that way.
We'll come to that.
That's too fancy a word. Okay. I mean, I want to be chairman of West Coast.
We'll come to that. Yes. Now, don't you think NPP is on the verge of dying in Brikama in West Coast? Well, you don't dominate West Coast, do you?
Well, okay, so I'm a statistician.
Okay.
So when you speak, you have to be careful because you have to always look at numbers and material.
Now I'm talking about those that are elected in the
I'm coming. Based on the parliamentary election results, yes, we won just one seat in West Coast. How many did UDP win? Out of 12. Because 6 went to APRC, not to Alliance. So 1 went to us. That is about 7. So 7 minus 12 is 5. So it's not called UDP dominated West Coast. They have not. NPP failed to get majority. But that does not make UDP the owners of the majority in West Coast region. So that is number-wise. Let's clarify that. But yes, NPP is down, and that's not good for us compared to UDP. They are ahead of us. But we have a lot of things that are responsible for this. It's not just that UDP is popular, they are bad. That's not the case. It is the NPP people, like myself, who were not happy with what happened in the party, and we break away. We refuse to accept the decisions of the representatives at decision-making table. So we got a split. I'm sure that split is going to be, and in fact is solved. And we'll go.
So the split is solved now.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we all know what happened was a big mistake.
Okay.
You know, the team understands it, and we looked at what our problems are, and we are still working on getting that those problems solved. And
okay, they are not entirely solved.
You know, problems are never entirely solved.
No, just confirm
there
this.
are always, you know, issues.
Now let's talk about this problem at NPP. Is it entirely solved?
Well, I mean, you wouldn't know that until we know we've learned from our mistakes.
Okay.
The electorate taught us lessons. And we also knew that it is not us who own stuff. It is the electorates that decide, give them what they want. And I'm sure going forward, of course, we'll all be careful when it comes to doing that.
Well, it is not a news anymore that you have the intention of vying for the position of chairmanship at Brikama Area Council. That is the local government election.
Yes.
And next year. But on your Facebook timeline, we've been seeing Team GT, Team GT, Team GT. So in your aspirations here, what is the difference between Team GT and NPP?
The difference between Team GT and NPP is that Team GT is a team with a proposed candidate for NPP ticket.
Okay.
That is the difference. And NPP is a party that is going to pick one individual from the different teams. So that's the difference.
So let's still stick to NPP. Sirfo Sonko is clear he's with NPP. Have you been chatting with him regarding his aspiration?
No, I have not.
So what is going to happen if NPP fail to choose you as their candidate?
I don't think NPP will fail to choose me as their
No, but it's possible. It happened in April. You said it happened in April. They choose a candidate which you think was not or were not electable. The same thing could happen.
And I believe we've learned from our mistakes, so the same thing wouldn't happen.
So they are not going to select any other person?
I believe they will select me.
Now let's say even if NPP did not select Ahmed Jida, what is going to happen?
So there may be events of no if. So I believe there will be no if.
So you are confident that NPP will select you as the candidate?
100% confident.
Now tell us, why do you want to be the chairman of Brikama Area Council?
Because there are a lot of things that we need to fix in Brikama Area Council, in West Coast.
Let's talk about them.
One, you are from Brikama. Brikama is the capital of West Coast region. When it rains, for example, in Brikama, it's very tough. Communication is a very big problem. Brikama is our capital. The market is very small right now. It's congested, and it's not very, much to standard infrastructurally.
Okay.
We have to change that. Drainage systems, when it rains, a lot of people settle on waterways, and water goes and parks itself somewhere that is not okay. You have a lot of floods in Brikama destroying people's properties. And it's one of the few regions or few settlements where you receive a lot of rain because of the forest. So those things need to be fixed. They have not. But what does development, what actually drives development is income generation. The way income is generated in West Coast region is very inefficient.
How is income generated from West Coast?
Well, I mean, people go to property owners to get the rates. You go collect rates. You go to markets and collect duties from market vendors, the women that sell their garden products and shop owners. And I believe it's very inefficient.
Inefficient.
It's very inefficient in the way it is done. And collection of rates too, that is, taxes from properties, is very, very inefficient. And I believe there is need for very robust and strong programs and platforms to be put in place to have this revenue collection very effective. And
How
that
are you
way,
going to do that?
I mean, in many different ways. I'm going to do
Tell
many.
us,
I just want to be general because you know, there are a lot of thieves out there. They will steal my ideas.
So
well, yeah, I mean, by law, you collect. You see, get people that are serious about development first. Orient them. Put in place digitalized forms of revenue collection. We have a digital system in West Coast that they put in place, but that is still not enough.
So when you say West Coast, let us be specific here. It is Birkama Area Council.
Well, I mean, Birkama Area Council is West Coast. So
I want those watching this.
It's West Coast. West Coast has a government, and that government is Birkama Area Council. So Nico Gambia, you are talking about Barrow's government. So yes, Birkama Area Council. So I mean, a lot of those things are supposed to happen, and they are not. And I have a plan. We have a program or programs in place to make revenue collection a lot more effective. You know, because more fana people, I mean, before they give you their money, they need to have that trust that if I pay my taxes, if I pay my duties to you, I am going to have it back in the form of development. And people know in West Coast, they have been paying duties. My father has been paying, you know, taxes since 1940s, 50s. Here, he has passed. I am in our compound. We have our properties and all of that.
And still there is no development.
Well, there are services that need to be provided: street lights, garbage collection. No truck. I've never seen a truck come to my house to collect taxes, whether when we were in Kitty or in Brikama.
But area council, they have trucks.
I don't know. So that's area council, and that's what I'm saying. They are not happening. So these are things that I want to see fixed. You have a lot of youths with skills without employment, and we have programs in place to engage youths. We would create, by the grace of Allah, at least 10 businesses every year, or 10 groups of businesses that are youth, 100% youth owned, and we are going to support them with a budget of at least $10 million every year.
$10 million every year?
Yes, for different youth groups. So these are all things in place. We have a way to get the money because the money is in West Coast. We have it. And by the grace of Allah, you know, those things are going to be worked on. Our health sector, especially in West Coast, our agri sector, we are going to, you know, help partner with both central government and private sector to make sure West Coast is improved to become, you know, what it is supposed to be, and that is breadbasket of the Gambia in terms of productivity. So these are all things that we have in place. Environmentally too, we have a lot of programs in place. We want to make sure we have an environment that is sustainable and very protected to help mitigate the rising global warming problems that we're facing not only in the Gambia, and rise in sea level and all of that. These are real issues, and we'll work with the communities and with government to make sure that our environments are protected. We'll also try to make sure that West Coast is the resource hub for the Gambia. This is where you have all the natural resources. And, you know, we will work with government to tell them, look, what we are benefiting from the resources is not what is due to us. And
so you will need more.
A lot more. These things must reflect in communities that you are getting them extracted from. When you go to Karton, you know, since I was young, I remember I was very young, vehicles go to Karton to get sand. You have millions of metric tons of sand collected from Karton worth millions of dollars. How many projects are taken to Karton, you know, to see that, oh, this is, you know, a sand mining, you know, a community, and these are the developments
but
that are
they must have a councillor.
Yes, they must have a councillor.
So I think the councillor should at least put that to the current council.
I mean, you know, the council is available. You are a media house. Go talk to the council. I'm telling you about what I will do when I come. I mean, the reason why I'm talking about them is because they have not come. They should. but they have not. And that's why we want to fill the void to do it.
Now you talk about the Brikama market.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that you said you will do when you are elected as the chairman of Brikama Area Council. Are you going to focus on only Brikama market?
It's not the first thing I am going to do.
Okay. But so, the first thing that you said here?
Yeah, that does not mean it's the first thing I'm going to do. First and foremost, Brikama needs to be modernized.
But Brikama, West Coast is big, not only Brikama.
Yeah, but we
have Burfoot, we have other markets as well. We have Sukuta.
We have a government like the Gambia concentrating on Banjul. They've spent millions of dollars because Banjul is the capital.
So when you're elected, you want to focus more on Brikama?
No, I'm not focusing more on Brikama.
Okay.
But as I focus on West Coast, Brikama is not going to be left behind. All these problems I've mentioned that I want to do are not specific to Brikama. I talked about the sand mining. And
so we are talking about the market.
Yes, yeah, but you're talking about the first things, and I want to be very clear that that's not what I said.
Okay.
Brikama, the market needs to be modernized. You have to demolish it and expand the market.
Okay.
And I believe the fish market is not supposed to be where.
So that is in your plan when you're elected to
100%.
Modernize the market.
Yes, and modernizing means demolishing the current market structure.
Okay.
If need be, properties that are around the market, talking to the owners of these properties, if we can buy them out, we can buy their properties and move them somewhere to settle, and we expand and build some very solid and better structures that suit Brikama's status as a capital of the richest and the most populated region of the Republic of Ghana.
And this requires a huge amount of money.
And that is why I said we are going to first put in place policies and programs. We need to have effective ways of generating income. We have to get effective ways of, collecting our taxes. But we also have to invest to be able to get those things. So those are the investments you do first. First and foremost, you need millions and millions perhaps of dollars to standardize.
Yes.
So you need to put in place policies and programs to be able to do those. And we are going to invest in those policies and programs, and then the revenues will come as we want them to be able to carry out these developments. It's not only Brikama market. I mean, Sukuta is a big city. It's a city status in the Gambia.
Well, exactly.
I'm coming, Burfoot is a big settlement. Tujereng, you have Tanje, you have Gunjur, you go to Buyam, you have Kalaji, you have, Ndemban. These are big settlements. You go to Jiboro, you have Sifo. All these are very big settlements in West Coast. In West Coast. Oli Yundum, Wellingara, Bruce B, so it's...
So you have plans for this market,
of course, we have a lot of plans for that.
Now, let us just make this thing clear. West Coast, let's look at West Coast. Let's talk about where West Coast starts and where West Coast ends. You can decide to start from wherever you want, either from Kalaji.
You mean geographically?
Geographically, exactly.
Yeah, it's from Burman Bridge, Kalaji to Senegambia Hotel here.
So Senegambia is
so you see that Senegambia Johnson?
Yes.
Anything this way, Bigelow, all the way is West Coast. Going to Katong to...
So Brikama area can generate, something from all those hotels in Senegal?
They should. I don't know if they do, but they should.
Did you ask whether they have been...
Well,
someone who is aspiring to be there.
The rates are collected, yes, but not at an efficiency level that they are. So if you are supposed to collect 100,000 and you collect 2,000, definitely I'll see you are not collecting.
So you want to change things?
Of course. That's why I'm coming. If I cannot change things, why would I come?
Why do you think you are the right person to be the chairman of Brikama Area
Because
Council?
I have the ideas that it takes to be able to change that region. I believe I am very radical in terms of going after what is supposed to happen. I'm very strong.
Are you a different politician?
I'm not a weak. I'm not.
Are you a different politician?
I have to be different for them to put me in the position.
Politicians before, when they are seeking office, they will have very good policies. But when they are elected, implementing or executing those policies becomes a problem.
Well, that's not.
Are you going to be a different politician?
That's not always true. We have politicians that talked about very good policies. When they went into office, they implemented them very well.
Are you going to be like those type of politicians?
Yes, that's what I am saying. So it's not every politician that would go and talk about good things. When they get into office, they do bad things. You have politicians that are fantastic politicians.
But like I said, we also have politicians that will make moons and promises, and when they are elected, they will do a different thing.
Yes, you said that. I mean, I'm just trying to qualify that it's not always the case.
So where do you belong?
Of course, that is a rhetorical question. You know where I would be.
No, I don't know. You tell me, where do you belong to?
So let me tell you something. I think I would not say I am very smart, but I am smart enough to understand that I have to have a vision to leave a country like Canada, very beautiful country, where I have a job, a very good job.
So you,
with
did
Canada.
you quit that job? Did you quit that job?
Let me finish. Let me finish. To have a job with Canadian government and all its benefits, like when you have a job with Canadian government, it's something, especially the department that I am working. So I cannot have that good job with my family and kids having all the facilities that the whole world can offer, and I leave that job to come here.
So
no, I have not quit the job.
So what have you done now? Are you on a leave?
Well, so
now tell us, are you on a leave?
You have no, I'm not on a leave. You can work.
But you don't.
You can work remotely. You know, you can work remotely.
Okay, that's what you're doing.
From work, yes. In fact, that is what happens in Canada now. People don't go to office because of COVID.
I ask you this because it has been reported that you quit.
I have not. That's a wrong thing. I have not quit my job yet. Because I have not gotten into the position of very council. Why would I quit my job?
Like I said, I ask you because it has been reported. So it's good that you are here to clear it.
So the report is wrong. I have not. But what I'm trying to say is, I cannot leave a job
of that nature.
Of that nature and come and because I want to fool around with people. Even if I have not done it for people, I should do it for myself and my family because they are in very good conditions. They are in one of the best countries. They don't pay medical bills. They have no problems. They have everything they need because of that job and because of the society I live in. I have a lot of, benefits from my position as a data analyst for Canadian immigration. So why would I come here to fool around? So I believe I have programs, and I believe.
And they are feasible. They are feasible programs.
They are, of course, feasible. I believe we need to go beyond where we are, and I believe I can play a role in getting us very close to where we are supposed to be, even if not to where we are. But I need to build a foundation, at least for anybody that is coming after me, to be able to have a smooth passage to where we are.
You sound so confident that you have to build a foundation.
So you want me to be not confident?
No, I'm not saying that. But you sound so bullish that you are not even using the word if.
Why would I if?
But there's a possibility that you may not be elected.
Well, I mean, if people, that's a different thing. If West Coast does not elect me, that's a totally different thing. And that is acceptable because these are people, and if you produce alternatives that they think are more convincing than mine, that is democracy. West Coast people can decide, and if they do that, I'm very okay and fine with that, and I go my way.
I am from West Coast. I live in Brikama. I've been talking to people. Your critics are saying that you are too young to be the chairman of Brikama Area Council.
What did you tell them?
Well, your candidature, your aspiration is on the surface. Your aspiration has been on the surface.
Yahya Jammeh became president of this country at the age of 29. I'll be 38 soon.
So you think your age doesn't matter?
Why would it mind? Paul Kagame became president of Rwanda when he was less than 35.
Now let's say that critic is watching. Let's say that critic is watching this interview.
Yes, I'm coming. Yes. There are people like Chile is a way bigger country than the Gambia. The president of Chile is 30. Mohammed bin Salman, the man that is ruling Saudi Arabia today, a multi-trillion dollar economy.
Jide, maybe Mbakumba, who is watching from Kitty, does not know the president.
And I'm telling them, that is what I'm doing now. I'm telling Mbakumba right now. So give me the chance to educate Mbakumba. You know, Mohammed bin Salman is the de facto ruler of Saudi Arabia. He is 32, 33 now. He is managing a country that is $1 trillion. He has just a degree, and he's managing a country. And you have tens of people who rule countries, bigger economies, that were younger than my age when they got into that office. I am going to an office, you know, where the population is less than, you know, 700,000 people. I have mayors that are 23, 28, you know, managing cities in Canada that are, or regions that are 1 million, 700,000, 900,000, 25, 24-year-olds. You're telling me I'm too young. I don't know how else. You know, how old do you want me to be to rule here?
Yeah, maybe others are saying this comparing your age to Jambi Ikeboja, who also declared his intention to run for the same position.
You know, so it's funny when people talk about age. You should actually give jobs of this nature to your young people.
But I'm telling you, they are talking about it in Brikama.
I mean, let them talk about it. I mean, Jame...
Convince them now.
Jame Ike Bojang, with all due respect to him, is old. He doesn't have the energy that I would have to be with my workers in the gutters, help with the spade to get sand and rubbish from the gutters, the drainage systems. He wouldn't be able to be running with the young people in the fields, running around, going for marathons. He is too old to do that. And if he, at that age, mentally too, you know, it derails on you. I mean, the ability to sit down and move around and multitask is limited as you get older. So, I mean, I have the best opportunity for age. I mean, my age mates are, you know, it's Sweden or Norway or Belgium. I'm not sure, one of these countries. The prime minister is I think 25, 28. Is the youngest, you know, prime minister in the world. He's there.
So you are not too young.
He's controlling a country of about 5, 6, 7 million with a budget of, you know, 100 times bigger than the Gambia as a country. And they're doing well.
So you're not too young to be the chairman of Brikama Area Council?
Why would I be wrong? Talib is, you know, is not older than me. Talib Bensouda is almost my age.
Well, I attended James Upper Basic School, and you attended the same school. We have been told a lot about you. You've been very smart.
A lot of bad things?
No, good things. You've been very, you've been a very smart and confident student when you were there. And you have been sounding so bullish, so confident. I know you are confident, but now let me ask you this question. Who do you think would be your biggest challenger in your quest to be the chairman of Brikama Area Council?
Individually, I don't know. But in terms of party, I think UDP.
UDP.
Yeah, because the party is structured already. It has what it takes to support and rally behind even a dog if they pick. That's a party. Just like NPP will be the biggest challenge to UDP when they pick any candidate, because the party is already structured. You know, as a party, UDP will always be the biggest challenge. Individuals, no, I've not seen anyone yet. I mean, you know, great minds, great brains, great profiles, but not so connected to the grassroots as I have done. So I'm not, for individuals, I'm not even bothered.
You're not even bothered?
No.
Well, thank you so very much, Mr. Gite, for honoring this invitation. All the best in your quest to be the chairman of Brikama Area Council.
Thank you for having me here, and to the viewers, I'm grateful to be here.
But you don't convince me, and I have to vote.
I will, of the...
Or are you going to bribe me?
Of the camera. I don't know, I'll bribe you with words and program.
Thank you so very much, Jide.
You're welcome. Take care.